Hey, Spicy. Today, I look at that camera. Today we're making cookie art. As you can see, we are going to show you how to make all of these different designs. And instead of playing with frosting, we are coloring and designing with the dough itself. So we're going to make these printed sugar cookies using chocolate dough and vanilla dough. And we were really inspired by this food stylist on Instagram, Sleeping Makes Me Hungry, and we wanted to put our own spin on it. So that's what we're gonna do here today. So to make our printed sugar cookies, we're using our cream cheese rollout cookie recipe. And this is a great recipe for this technique because it has 3 kinds of fat in it. And thanks to the shortening, it holds its shape during baking, so your designs won't spread. And you also are able to rework the dough, add colors, make designs, re-roll the scraps, and they stay super tender thanks to these 3 different kinds of fat: shortening, butter, cream cheese. So I'll start by adding the shortening. This is 92 grams, or about half cup. Then we'll add our butter, which is a nice room temperature, 113 grams. This is unsalted butter, so we can control the amount of salt in the final cookies. This is about 1.5 cups of sugar, or 297 grams, just regular granulated sugar. Then we'll add our cream cheese. This is also room temperature. It's about half of an 8-ounce package. Goes right in with those other ingredients. Then I'll use this attachment to beat it until it's nice and smooth and no more lumps. So I'll stop and scrape down the sides just to make sure everything's getting incorporated. Then I'll give it one more quick mix. This looks nice and smooth, no sugar in the bottom, so we'll add our next round of ingredients. We're going to add an egg. It's room temperature as well. It just makes it easier to combine. We'll add a teaspoon of our vanilla extract, which just gives a really nice flavor to the dough. This recipe calls for some nutmeg and ginger just to add a really nice warm flavor to the dough. You can adjust the quantity or even the spices that are used to customize it to your taste. We'll add some baking soda, which helps give the cookies just a slight bit of puff, and then salt for well-rounded flavor. And then of course, we need some flour to add structure to the dough. I'm going to measure my flour by weight just to ensure we're using the right amount, which is 480 grams, but you can also measure using cups. It's about 4 cups, which means these cookies will be nice and tender, but they'll also hold their shape during baking. Almost there, 480, perfect. So I'll put this back on the mixer and combine this until smooth. Stop and scrape down the sides just to make sure that all the flour is incorporated. Scrape it off the paddle. You want to mix the dough as little as possible since we'll be rolling it out and working it, and so just to ensure that nice soft final cookie texture, don't overmix it at this point. Give it a couple more turns and we'll call it done. Okay, so we'll scrape down the paddle. We're going to divide the dough roughly in half so that we have a white base for our cookies, and then the other half we'll then divide into smaller pieces and we'll color each portion so that we have lots of options for making our design. If you want to make chocolate dough, you would just replace a bit of the flour with some black cocoa powder, which makes that nice contrast pop. And the specifics for that are included in the baker's tip at the bottom of the recipe. Dough, done. So I'll divide the dough in half. We will leave half just this white plain color for our base, and then we will color the other half into all the different colors for our design. So I'll use our beeswax wrap, which is reusable, to wrap the dough. I'll divide it roughly in half and then pat it into a rectangle. Then I'll use my clean hands to press it, wrap it. I want to press it till it's about 1/2 inch thick. The thinner you press it, the faster it will chill. We're not in a rush today, so I will just press it about 1/2 inch thick. So the reason why we add the colors after it's chilled is because since there's 3 different kinds of fats in this recipe, it can get a little bit soft and greasy and hard to handle if you work it with your hot hands, adding the color in at this point. So we'll just chill it, and then it'll be easier to add color in about 60 minutes. Now that our dough has chilled, we can start coloring about half of it. So today we're using these plant-based supernatural food colors. You can use any food coloring if you want, but we like using plant-based colors. So these come in packets of dried color. And then to use them, we'll hydrate them with a little bit of water. So we'll add just about a teaspoon of water. And I have 4 little bowls here. I'll add a teaspoon to each. And then I'll sprinkle the colors over the water and stir to make a concentrated color. And then you can use it just like any other food dye. So we have 6 different colors here, but really the possibilities are endless. You can combine colors just like you would paint yellow and blue to make green, or any other shades you want. Just have additional mixing bowls and stirring sticks to come up with your full palette of colors. So our colors are hydrated and mixed, so now we can color our dough. So I'm going to leave half of it uncolored, and this will be our base, but I'm going to divide this portion into whatever number of colors you want to make. I think I'm going to divide it into quarters so that we can have at least 4 colors in our design. So divide it and then work with just one piece at a time. And you don't have to divide it equally. If you know you want a design of yellow flowers with pink centers, you need a lot more yellow than pink. So just think about your portions before dividing. And then let's start with the pink. The pink will be really pretty. So you can use a really small teaspoon, you can use a toothpick or a dropper if you have one, and then you can just add a couple drops to the dough. Maybe let's see if I can pour from here. Just a small amount. You can just kind of fold it and work it in. You can wear gloves at this point if you want, but it is plant-based, so it washes out. I got some on my surface here, but I'm not gonna panic. Ooh, purple. So this is why we wanted to use that cream cheese rollout cookie, since you do have to work in the colors quite a bit. So now I have a few different colors mixed. I'm going to wrap these and chill them for about 30 minutes so that they are not as soft, and it'll be easier to roll them out. And then we can cut our designs and finally start assembling our cookies. I'll mix a few more colors while these chill. So the first step is to roll out the base of your design. So I have my vanilla white dough. I will dust my work surface slightly with flour. I have a piece of parchment here, which will help me just rotate it, make sure that I can roll it easily from all angles. So roll out your dough until it's about a 1/4 inch thick, a little bit thicker than you want the final cookies to be, because once we have our colored designs on top, we'll roll it a second time. Easy enough. This dough is beauty to work with. You want your designs to be a little bit thinner than your base, so I'm rolling this to about a 1/4 inch thick. So now you can use any sort of cutter you want. You can use round cutters. This is actually a pastry tip, and you can use the open end on the bottom to make polka dots. We'll have a chance to make more elaborate designs, but let's start with something basic. Let's just do some hearts and some polka dots for our first round. Cut out your designs just like you would if you were baking cookies, and then arrange them on your canvas. I'll make some hearts, and then I'll make some polka dots to fill in. This could be really fun for Valentine's Day. Another really fun design that you can make is anything that has words or letters on it. So I'm going to use these cute little alphabet cutters and make some letters. You could just do random letters and scatter them all over your canvas and have the cookies kind of look like alphabet soup, or you could even spell a message. So once you've filled in your design, you want to cover it with a second piece of parchment paper, and this will help prevent sticking. And then you want to use your rolling pin to gently press the designs into the base. And this gentle tapping motion helps prevent any of the designs from sliding around and limits the amount of distortion that you'll have in your shapes. And then you basically can roll. You want to roll as little as possible because the more you roll, the more likely the shapes and designs will get distorted. So give just gentle pressure until the dough feels flat. It's kind of cool to see it come through the parchment, actually. Okay. Woohoo! It's so fun. While this chills, we will roll out our other base, some other colors, and just let ourselves have some arts and crafts time and do some more elaborate designs and see what we feel like creating. So we just had a lot of fun taking some time to make a bunch of different designs that felt like arts and crafts hour. It would be a great project to do with kids, with your grandparents. It's really fun and it allows you to be creative. So these are a few different designs that we just had fun with. And then this is really fun. You can make one giant cookie and you can spell out a message like happy birthday, or you could monogram the cookies. You could put a single letter on them. You could put paw prints. You could put dinosaurs. You could put anything you want to. Really, the possibilities are endless. So our last batch of printed sugar cookies just came out of the oven, and honestly, I think this was my favorite. I hope that you try our cream cheese rollout cookie recipe. You can find everything you need on our website, kingarthurbaking.com. You can pick up a pack of the natural food colors and get baking and share photos of your cookies with us on Instagram. We want to see. Thanks for watching. But if they want the best results, ditch Grandma's sugar cookies.
Look into the camera and say that.
I'm not saying that. I don't want grandmas to come after me. If you want the best results, use this recipe.